relationship building. 5th, communication. 6th would be self-worth. And 7th, well, 6th or 7th would be the positive things and your strengths, not your weaknesses, that you can show forth with yourself. So first, with responsibility. This I got here from the Wellness Center, so you can't quote me on this. I'll talk a little bit about it after. So here we go. When we first hear that we are responsible for our experiences, we think we are being blamed. And blame makes us feel guilty and wrong. However, there is no blame involved. To understand that we are responsible is to be given a great gift. Have you guys ever seen Spider-Man? Raise your hand if you've ever seen Spider-Man. What does Spider-Man's uncle tell him? With great power comes great
responsibility. Right?
We go from being powerless over our circumstances to being people who can mold and shape our lives in positive ways. As we learn to use our thoughts in productive ways, we become powerful people. It gives us the power to respond to life, to make changes, and to improve the quality of our lives. See, guys, when we have responsibility, we have choices to make. Who we are, who we want to be, the people who we surround ourselves with, and the people who we choose to spend our lives with. If we have friends, family, and hopefully future acquaintances that we want to be around, who can we depend on but ourselves to get ourselves to those places so we can focus on our better futures, the futures of others, the futures of ourselves, the futures of the dependents that we're going to have, our children, our nieces, our nephews, our grandchildren. When we have those people in our lives, we need to make sure we're taking care of them. Not only to focus on ourselves, as hopeless as that may sound for some of us, because a lot of us focus on ourselves. We want to pride ourselves in becoming better people. We want to pride ourselves in becoming the people we are meant to be. And the people we are meant to be are not the people we are right now. That might sound funny, but I'm trying to speak the truth right now. The people we are meant to be is the person we are tomorrow, the next day. The person who we are today is not the person we are meant to be. If you were to die right now, that would be the person you are meant to be, not the person you are right now. Let's say this. If a man was walking down the street, picks up a dime on the floor, is he responsible for that dime or that dollar, maybe perhaps? He is responsible to either give it back to the person, because that dollar is not his. The money that they have is not their responsibility. You know what that's considered? It's considered one of the 10 commandments. It's called theft. Guys, I've stolen in my life. I've been there, but I've learned from my mistakes. I'm not one to say I haven't stolen from before. Because when I have, I know I had to suffer the consequences for it. I'm not saying I got caught. I'm not saying I'm the perfect person, because I'm far from it. But I know the things that I've done in the past were wrong. So when it comes to responsibility, I take responsibility of my actions. Some of it is by venting it out in the speech. Some of it is by talking to others who know what I've been through, and to talking to others who have been through the same thing as me. Now, addiction. Here at the Wellness Center, it says that heavy dependence on anything outside myself is called an addiction. I can be addicted to drugs and alcohol, to sex and tobacco, and I can also be addicted to blaming or judging people, to illness, to debt, to being a victim, and to being rejected. Yet I can move beyond these limitations. Being addicted is giving up my power to a substance or a habit. I can always take back my power. This is the moment I take my power back. If you guys are living with addiction, if you guys are struggling with addiction, there's help. There's always help for you guys. I am 5, almost 6 months sober. I didn't do it on my own, but I didn't do it with a sponsor. Some people use a sponsor, some people don't. That is completely your choice, and it is up to you whether you want to find help or not. It is probably the best way. Before, I used to think there is no other way to do. No, there's no other thing to do besides use drugs. I thought I was helpless without them, but I am not. I am more powerful, and I'm able to see clearly without using drugs. And I'm telling you right now through my own testimony that drugs for me are not the way to go. It has left me helpless, harmful to myself, to others, to the people that were around me. And let me tell you guys, drugs for me, whether it be marijuana, cocaine, meth, ecstasy, they cost me money, guys. Where was that money going towards if it wasn't going towards my health? It was going towards my wrongs, and the wrongs that I was committing to others as well as myself. So I choose to develop the positive habit of knowing that life is here for me. As it says here, I am willing to forgive myself and move on. I have an eternal spirit that has always been with me. It is here with me now. I believe that eternal spirit is God. And through his son, Jesus Christ, we're able to do all things and move on to that next step. I relax and let go. And I also remember to breathe as I release old habits and practice positive ones. Now, guys, the third one is probably going to be my strongest attribute towards you guys. It's called attitude. This is Attitude by Charles Swindoll. The longer I live, the more I realize the impact of attitude on life. Attitude to me is more important than facts. It is more important than the past, than education, than money, than circumstances, than failures, than successes maybe, than what other people think, say, or do. It is more important than appearance, giftedness, or skill. It will make or break a company, a church, a home. A remarkable thing is we have a choice every day regarding the attitude we embrace for that day. We cannot change our past. We cannot change the fact that people will act in a certain way. The only thing we can do is play the one string we have, and that is our attitude. He says right here, I think it's a pretty powerful statement. He states, I am convinced that life is 10% of what happens to me, while the other 90% is how we react to it. Now you guys may be saying, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. And you might be right. This is just a statement of his reality, not mine. I'm reading this to you because I'm giving you an example of what he states. From what this guy has said about attitude, he's stating that attitude is your confidence. If you have the confidence in your spirit, through a spirituality, through maybe a Holy Spirit, through the name of God, your spirituality, if you're Buddhist, if you're Hindu, if you're Christian, if you're Catholic, I'm Christian, guys. So my Holy Spirit comes from the name of the Father, our God. I've read about 13 books in 16 days. I've read about a third of the Bible in 16 days. Guys, my spirit is lifted more than ever now. I can see clearer. I know things better. And I have trusted in the Lord to get me through to where I want to be. I haven't gotten to the New Testament yet, but when I start reading Matthew again, because I've read Matthew before, I've read Matthew and Mark. I haven't read Luke. But when I read them again, it'll go through all the things that Jesus was meant to do and what he was here for. But the Old Testament is through the prophets, through Isaac, Jacob, Joseph, David, Solomon, Nebuchadnezzar the king. All these people in the books, they're there for a reason. For the people of Israel. You guys might not know what I'm saying, but these are classic dailies when it comes to the Old Testament. Just a little bit about that. I'll be very brief, just not to scare you guys. So why do we communicate and why is it important? Guys, communication in our daily lives is so vital just for our health and wellness. As health and wellness on the subcommittee on the board, let me tell you how important communication is. I have depression, and I know that it's not an important aspect to be depressed all the time. It's not, but it is not vital for me to continue in a depression when I know I can get out of it. I have a friend who struggles with it on a daily basis. And I try to fathom how hard it can be for him just to wake up every morning, thank God, and know that what he is doing is the right thing. Because depression can go a long way. It can lead to suicide. But more so then, it can lead to happiness when you get out of that depression. when you get out of that depression and you find happiness and you stick with that happiness, your pursuance for a longing of perseverance through that could be everlasting. You guys want to make sure that happiness sticks with you. Whatever you hold on to dear with a support system, through your communication with your support system, relationship building with your support system is vital. The relationships you have in this life will take you further than you ever will imagine. Networking, if it's in business, church, home, family, friends, networking will take you far. You know how it's said, it's not what you know, who knows the rest of it?
Who you know.
It's who you know. But imagine this. Let me ask you guys a question. What if you had the strength to have what you know to get to whom you know? Do you know how powerful that statement is? With what you know, you meet who you know. Sonny, what do you think about that?
It's powerful.
I'm telling you guys, the more knowledge and wisdom you can consume for the good and you meet the right people, it's limitless. You can network so far with what you already have, with the people you know, to speak and communicate with them, to get further along in life. This is not where life is going to end and take me. I'm telling you guys that right now. This place right here is a stepping stone for me. I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm not saying that in a worse way. But this right here is a stepping stone for me. It's a stepping stone for all of us. We're here for a reason. We're here to be meant for something. Why is it called the Wellness Center? It's for wellness, for our wellness, to get better, to be a better person, to become well with our lives, well with our families, well with our friends, well with ourselves. If you guys can realize that, you guys will go far. And if you guys grasp that and you go with it, you're only headed to success. The last time I gave a speech, I said it off paper and I was stumbling here and there. I heard from a friend 2 days ago, just say it from your heart. Say it from your mind, say it from your body, say it from your soul. That's what I tell myself. And look where I am right now, giving almost probably a 10-minute speech with you guys sitting right here in front of me. And I thank you guys for that. Next, I want to talk about with you guys maybe something that I shouldn't be, but I'm going to anyways, because it's not against the rules. It's not what I shouldn't be doing. I believe it's going to help you guys in the future. I'm going to let you on a little bit of secrets of mine. Having success through a passionate income. What would that mean to you guys? Jamer.
Does that mean do what you like?
Do what you like. More so, do what you...
Do what your passion is. What I'm thinking is it doesn't matter how much money you make, but do what your passion is.
Not exactly.
No, okay.
What I describe, having a passionate income. When you love what you do, and you do what you love, and you make income from that, you're still working every day. But while you're working every day, you're loving what you're doing. And guys, when you love what you do every day of your life, are you really going to work? Or are you having fun? Or are you doing both? They say when you work smarter, you don't have to work harder. That goes back with what I'm saying. Give me a second, Laura, please. That goes back with saying about my last statement. When you work smarter and you work harder in life, that's a dual combination for success. Because when you work harder but not smarter, you might be going in circles. But when you work smarter but not harder, you'll get there. You'll get there at a pace. But when you work smarter and you work harder, crawl before you run, crawl before you walk. Because the smarter you are, the farther you'll go. the harder your work, they say work ethic beats talent. Because when you have talent but no work ethic, it can be wasted. You'll win a couple races, but the guy who works harder will win the race. Imagine if you had the work ethic and the intel. I'm asking you guys to pray. Whatever your entity is, whatever your deity is, mine is God. If you stay prayed up, if you stay with the Lord, whether that be God, it's against Christianity to go say anywhere else, but I have my deity in God. I'm trying to be fair to everyone. I want to say to you guys, be yourself, but just take in what I'm saying right here. Because I know I'm going to be big one day. You guys just watch. This is going to be where I end up. Because when I do make it, I'm going to remember the people that were here, that I gave my first couple speeches to. My goal is to be a public speaker, to give these speeches, to let people know what I've been through, to let people know what they can do with their lives through my experiences. Sunny with Forex, the director with what she does to win, Laura with her kind heart, Jama with her vibrance, Jeannie with her kind heart, Paul with his confidence, Francis with her laughter, Amit with his kind heart, and Robert, that's my boy with the camera phone. John, I see you over there with that USC ring. Keep sporting that, buddy. Guys, this is life. Enjoy it. Make it positive. Make it a lasting name for yourselves. Because this right here, this is only phase 1. When you make it to heaven, it's phase 2. Thank you.
I think it's a meeting, huh?